Hello everybody, my name is Page, and today I will be looking at LEGO set 7159, the pod racer, the pod racing bucket, LEGO Star Wars, and the set is based on episode 1 of The Phantom Menace. It has 3 minifigures, and when it was released in 2000, it retailed for €25. You can now probably find it for 40 used, but more expensive probably. And I got mine kinda from my brothers, technically. When they grow out of it, I obtained all of their Lego except for like a couple of sets. So I have it, and it was a present for them back in the day. So I probably got it for the same price then as it retailed back then. And there's a lot to go into it because there are 4 vehicles. Yeah, 4 vehicles, 1 build, 3 minifigures. Quite a lot. Let's start with the minifigures. So for the minifigures, we have Jar Jar Binks, we have Anakin Skywalker, and Alder Beedo. And let's start with Alder Beedo because this has been called the worst LEGO Star Wars minifigure of all time. And yeah, it isn't quite a minifigure, isn't it? Is it? Although his face print looks really cool, it just is weird. But maybe you can even place it like this. Looks a bit better. But this is a pretty bad minifigure. It uses the droid assembly, and I used mine from the droid actually, because I've used all those parts in my droids. And after this review, I will be taking him apart again. So that's it for this figure. Nothing much. It's just a character. Yeah, and it's pretty bad. For the next one, we have Anakin Skywalker. And first of all, he uses long legs. And this is accurate. Although I take off the long legs personally and attach some short ones. So he is more accurate in scale. And for his print, he uses like freckles, and for the time, this looks really cool. It did look pretty good, and his helmet, mine is broken, but that's because this set is probably has been played with a lot. So also his design is like scraped away as much as you can see. You can kind of define the freckles on video a little bit more in person, but that's it for Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, I will keep it the short legs. And we have Jar Jar Binks. Man, compared to the new ones, this one is really bad. You can still see what it's supposed to be like. And first of all, the eye. Yeah, the eye has been missing. And the eye has been missing for as long as I can remember. So I know my brother and I used to play this character not as Jar Jar Binks, but like as a wise, like ground scent bender, just like an avatar, kind of. But I was kind of disappointed to know that the figure wasn't that, and it was just a stupid guy. So yeah, but as you can see, it's a hard plastic mold, his head, and it's pretty weird actually, but still. The head mold looks accurate, like because I believe they kind of changed it, like small details, but it's pretty detailed, so it isn't weird that they didn't put any face details on it. But that's for Jar Jar Binks. Let's get into the vehicles. No, let's start with the build. It's like the finish line. And first thing you'll see, some broken parts. Especially this one, it's really bad. And it can't even stand up straight enough. So yeah, and that's because it's a pretty old set and has been played with a lot. But it's pretty thin. These pieces look good, and you can spin this around. Use some clear parts, also there, and it gets the point across. especially because this is a pod racing set, so you want to have a finish line, and all the vehicles can move underneath them or between them. Even the widest one can fit in between it. So it doesn't need to do any more. There are better builds of this, especially mocks, but this gets the point across, especially in such a cheap set. So I'll put it to the back because it looks kind of cool. The first vehicle is Anakin Skywalker's personal pod racer, and I remember playing with this one and seeing it as pretty accurate. And now I've seen the most recent one. I think it was 2017 that it came out, and that one is way better than this one. I don't have it because I thought I already had one of them, which looks pretty cool. But looking back to it, I should have probably gotten one because this one looks pretty mediocre. I mean, it gets the point across, but still, it does. You have a seat in here where you can put Anakin Skywalker in there, and the yellow parts, but it's still pretty crude. And I do quite like these pieces, but as you can see, this is the only one where you can flip it around. The other ones are held tight so they can't move about. This is the only one where you can move it about, which is pretty weird because, especially for the main character, it's pretty weird to do. And you can sit Anakin with his long legs, you can actually sit him, but this looks pretty cool. And this like kind of frosted clear piece in the middle, a lot of them have them, and that looks pretty cool. So let's go on to the next one. I need a place to put it in. The next one, which is probably my favorite, because it has quite a lot of colors, as you can see. Oh, again, this piece is in red. It should be in light gray, but again, I don't have it. But this one looks pretty cool, even while building it, having these exhaust or input more like. It's pretty advanced for at the time, and it looks really sleek for a 2000 set. So, and pretty great design actually. I don't remember this one at all from the scenes, but it has been a while since I watched Phantom Menace, so maybe they look more accurate than I give them credit for. And also these two frosted pieces. I like the stripes, I like the color scheme, I like the basic Lego color scheme, and it looks really cool. The next one, oh, something broke off. The next one is also one I remember playing with, especially, and it looks pretty cool. It's probably the worst one in my, maybe the worst one in my opinion. It can move about a bit, just like all the others, and well, it has a pretty bad color scheme. Like the only 3 green pieces in the set are in this ship. It's pretty short, but these exhausts, they look really cool. And I think this is supposed to be the one from Sebulba, although I'm not guaranteed. I don't know for certain. But this part all should be 2 separate ones, but again, I can't find them. So it looks pretty cool. And by the way, if you want to put Anakin in here you can have him. You can also put him in the last one I did, where you can kind of try to sit him down. Although I do believe that these are supposed to be more for older bead. So for the last one, we have this blue one, and man, it's the most different, most unique one. Again, this black piece should be the dark gray, the old dark gray, by the way. It should be the most unique one, but I kind of don't like it because of that part. So putting Anakin in there, it gets the job done. It has unique pieces with these arches, but isn't the best one. Also exhaust, and these things can all spin around with every one of them. I've gone kind of fast, and that's because there isn't really that much to talk about them. The build was pretty fast, especially for the amount of things that you need to build. And that's the speed build I have up. Watch which one, which sorry, for for the one which weren't that fast is finding all the pieces. It took a while. I thought, okay, I can do it. It will take like an hour, maybe two, but I needed to go from everywhere in my room to get um, every little box, every compartment to find all the pieces needed. And still, I can't even find some of them. And like a couple of pieces, I've had to substitute for the newer gray, like especially this one, and some other parts. And I've shown some parts which had to be substituted, and you can see some parts which aren't correct in my speed build. But that's just because this set has been played with. I've built some other things and probably find them someday. That I've put them in a mock or wherever, but still, it's weird missing some pieces. So, I want to line them up, the builds, from which I like the most to which I like the least. And first of all, I like this part, the finish line, the best, where it is pretty cool to have, and it gets the job done, as I said. And I'll go from worst to best. I do believe that this one is the worst, as I said, because just it maybe gets the job done, but it looks pretty bad. Although this other blue one, it's pretty close. I give it more points because it's a bit unique. This one of Anakin, it wasn't the best because I'm really disappointed. Well, looking back at it, I thought it would be better. I remembered it to be better. And there are better versions of it around. But I do quite like this one. It may be the most blocky one, but it looks really cool. So this is my favorite. I will keep... So that I already said it, but I will keep all of the builds. I will keep all of the builds. I won't keep that droid. I will take it apart and put it back to the battle droid. And so my final thoughts. First of all, I want to show you something which I really like. It is in my booklet. And yeah, it has seen some wear and tear. So I will take it off. But the thing I like the most is you can see there are some artworks. And there are multiple of them. So where if I look at some others, you can see like a scenario playing. And that is like really cool in my opinion. Like having a scenario playing in the booklet, it is, however, repeated a lot, but it looks pretty cool while building it. So that's a plus point. Also, this is my oldest Lego Star Wars set I have, and I don't want it to be. I want like the original. I don't know if it was released earlier. I think so, but I really want like the original Millennium Falcon, or like the Interceptor, the from Darth Maul, and yeah, Sith Interceptor, I believe. And so those sets I really want, but I have this one, so maybe I'll get them on the convention I will go to, like in a couple of weeks. But for my final thoughts, should you buy this set? And it's kind of double. On the one hand, I say if you get the opportunity, then yeah, go ahead and buy it. But note that it's pretty old set, so you want it as an old set. You don't want it as like a new thing to look really cool. You want it to look nostalgic. Or what you could also do is get the set and try to improve every one of the ships and or like make new ones and compare them to your own creation. That would also look pretty cool. But as for display piece, you really are trying to get a nostalgic factor going in here, going from here. So that is something to well, to take a note of. And so I won't be against you buying it, because if you like these old sets, if you have that nostalgic factor, then totally do it, because a lot of people say this is better than a newer one. If you are liking that nostalgic factor, which I can see, although I do believe the newer one is better in my opinion. Again, I still don't have it, but um, for the price of 25 euros back then, which is according to inflation, it should be like a little bit more. But let's say it was the 40, and for 40 euros, it is still you still get a lot, because that's the great thing about this bucket. Is as a kid, well, you had a finish line and you had four different um, Podracer speeders, so that's really cool to have. The my bad part with it set is if you have four speeders for definitely four different characters, because you can't have one character piloting um, two speeders, then eventually you will run out of pilots. And now there is one ship without a pilot, so I need to substitute with one of my own figures. But what if you don't have your own figures? Oh, wow, that looks really bad. But what if you don't have your own figures? Then you have a ship which you can't use. So that is something to take a note of. If you do have any others, then sure, go ahead. But weirdly enough, this is the with my speed builds. This is like the set which has a lot of volume, but it was one of the cheapest ones, or one of the cheaper ones, and it was really quick. So don't be intimidated by how many pieces or how much the volume of the pieces take over in that setting, because it was done really quickly. So that's it for this video, and I hope you enjoy. Again, check out the speed build, leave a like if you did like the video, and maybe subscribe while you're at it. I'm currently at 51 subscribers, and thank you all, by the way. And I would like to get to, well, more than that. If you haven't subscribed, please be sure to do so. I have many more reviews on my channel. I will do more, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.